And then this brings us to Knox County, the county of fascism, where you don't have a right to your own body. The capital city of Knox County is Barberville. Knox County is a prohibition county, so there's no alcohol sales. The population is own body. The population is 32,000, 4 times the amount of Gallatin County. 98% of Knox Countyans are white, and 35% of them are poor. So not only is it not the black people's fault, but there's a lot of poor white folks out there. Well, 35%, that means over 1/3 of Knox Countyans live below the poverty line. Those in charge are clearly failing. Something pretty sensational that had recently happened was that there were 2 bodies that were found in Knox County, and they found some suspects. Though they don't, the big question was whether or not the suspects would get a fair trial in Knox County. The suspects are African American. The key question is whether a potential jury has already formed an opinion about Davidson's guilt or innocence. Lamarcus Davidson is one of these suspects.
Stinking because of the coal companies. I could totally see coal company executives saying, "Oh, just throw it in the stinking creek. Who cares? Oh, what, it's toxic and it'll kill people? Oh, just throw it in the stinking creek." I can't even see any water. Must be just a creek really tiny. Knox County. I'm standing here in Barbersville. I'm actually pretty surprised that there aren't that many barbers around. Couldn't find a single one in the courthouse square. Maybe they're hiding some.
And his brother, just like his brother Cobbins, which every jury that seats on the trial must be willing to impose a death sentence penalty, since it's a capital murder case. Lamarcus Davidson's trial is set for September 21st. The judge estimated jury selection could take as long as 2 weeks. Cobbins had built his defense around labeling his brother the evil mastermind behind the kidnapping, rape, and killing of Christian and Newsom. In his statement to authorities, Davidson has in turn blamed his brother and fellow suspect George Thomas. County Judge J.M. Hall, he isn't the law. He thinks he's above the law, and he's going to fall because he's out for himself and he isn't out for you all. J.M. Hall, Doug McSwain, the county's attorney, and the sheriff, they are all corrupt. He thinks he's the man, J.M. Hall does, with the way he filed the complaint against Pacer Health without the court's approval. He thinks he could do whatever he wants, and as long as he's got his 3 rubber stampers on council, Carson Gilbert, Julio Sema, and Terry Brown, which all recently just voted to retroactively give J.M. Hall immunity to cover up his crime of suing Pacer Health on the county's behalf without consulting the county council. Doyle Gibson and Jerry Hamilton, they both abstained from the vote, so even J.M. Hall's opposition showed no public resistance. The resolution had passed after the discussion was made in a closed session. And to make this case even more bizarre was that the Pacer CEO, Ray Gonzalez, was actually in the courtroom with a check in hand ready to pay. He says, "I have a check today here for the bond payment." He makes the argument that J.M. Hall just doesn't like him and that he just doesn't want to work with him and he's trying to run him out of business. And he said that shouldn't be allowed. That's just favoritism. Just because they're not good friends, as long as they pay their bills, which he says traditionally he has paid his bills on time, and he was there with the check in hand to pay. And this isn't the first time the county attorney Doug McSwain put forth an erroneous legal opinion. It makes you wonder what happened to Charlie Dixon. Doug McSwain advised the sheriff's department to steal my mini DVD, shred it, thusly tampering with evidence. The fiscal court of Knox County is corrupt and they're liars. Do not trust them. Voters, next year, kick them out for anybody or anything. A rock would be better than JM. The folks that were part of the incident that happened while I was in Knox County is Officer Whitehead, a 6'5" guy that couldn't take his hand off his gun, like he was going to shoot me just because I had a video camera, and Officer Wagner, Wagner, and also some mean woman that had started it all. They ended up taking my mini DVD, which ironically they stole my property, but I had filmed the 10 Commandments in their office, but it seemed like as if they haven't read the 10 Commandments, because I'm pretty sure one of them is thou shalt not steal. Not to mention the ACLU in McCreary County had got into a legal battle over having the 10 Commandments in their courthouse, since it violates the Establishment Clause, the separation between church and state. Knox County's track record of criminal behavior is appalling. According to Officer Wagner, who is operating with Doug McSwain's and J.M. Hall's advice and approval, if an individual doesn't give them your permission to film them, then you aren't allowed to do it. I asked him if I filmed an audience, and one person from that audience said they didn't want to be filmed. Would I have to destroy the film then too? And he said yes. Considering there are surveillance cameras all over the courthouse, and I didn't give them my permission to film me, then I should get their tape. But they weren't for that. Officer Wagner, and I apologize to the homosexual community for that association, took the mini DVD from my camera, handed it to the woman who started it all, and she put it into the paper, shredded the evidence. The reason they would do this is because the establishment wants to film you, but they don't want to be filmed. They want to hold you accountable and know all of your personal information, who you are, where you live, what your social security number is, but they want to remain private, even though they are public officials. They don't want to give out their personal information, and they don't want to be held accountable. Police officers cede their right to privacy the moment they put their uniforms on, which is paid for by the taxes imposed on working Knox Countyans. Other police officers part of the department is Chief Deputy Derek R. Eubanks, Deputy Gary Bays, Deputy Jason Carmack, Deputy Chad Gregory, and Deputy Roy Gambrell.